The starting point for the Change Lab project was a photo book essay based on the theme of home and land. So we all looked at it from a personal point of view and created a book based on this theme. That was a starting point, which led us to then looking at what was our issue contained within our books. We were then designated into groups, and from there we looked at our individual books and our essays and what was the commonality amongst them all. The working in groups was quite an experience. We learned a lot about each other. Also, we had to make a lot of decisions. It was a really challenging but really valuable experience. We discovered that the kind of common thread was this feeling of displacement. So not really feeling connected to the place where we're from or the place where we live. The issue we chose to explore was internal displacement, or it's also known as the IDP issue. So internally displaced persons, there are almost twice as many as refugees in the world. So it's a huge issue, but it's not that well documented. An IDP is someone who is internally displaced. They haven't crossed a border, so they're still displaced within their own country. Oftentimes the reason they're fleeing is due to a man-made disaster or also conflict, so wars and violence and crime. So they're hugely vulnerable in that they're fleeing a government sometimes, but they can't get away because they can't cross that border. So they're trapped really in their own country. So we did a lot of mind mapping to come up with ideas for the work. We looked at various artists. We looked at contemporary artists such as Fiona, who uses text in her work. So we wanted to use text in the work. We felt that was going to be appropriate. We also looked at Dan Halter. His work deals with refugee issues, so his work was very appropriate and relevant. Based on his work, we felt drawn to using the bag as an object in our work, and we explored lots of ways of using bags, lots of different materials, what was going to really represent our issue. So we chose then the brown paper bag as a sort of vulnerable object and kind of anonymous as well. And we also chose to use the visual of the global map in the work as well. So once we had the bag and the global map and the text, we were able to kind of put that all together, and each of us drew on our strengths as artists to create the work. So it was a very tedious process, but obviously very enjoyable, and we learned a lot through it. And then the text that we chose to use, initially we were using single individual words, but we felt they were too vague, didn't really tell a story or the story that we wanted it to tell. So we looked at the global report on internal displacement. So from that we pulled excerpts and key sentences and phrases that really, could speak to our audience about the issue. The Change Lab experience was very transformational for me. Firstly, on a personal level, I learned a huge deal about these issues, these contentious issues. Also, it showed me how I can respond to these issues through the art making process. So it was very empowering. But lastly, I think as an educator, this program has really encouraged me and empowered me to look at these issues and to bring them into the classroom. It also has shown me how I can encourage a student voice within the classroom around these issues. And I suppose it's not about teaching more, it's just about teaching differently.